As we continue to work our way here through this week, we stay with a fairly similar weather pattern of dealing with at least near normal temperatures, as well as some of those afternoon thunderstorms we're seeing here for our Thursday. A morning low 58 is close to that average of 57, and an afternoon high into the 90s. They're close to that average high of 89. And much of this week, we've been into those lower 90s, not as warm as we were to end off last week into that weekend forecast, but still keeping definitely that summer-like feel. So as mentioned, seasonal forecast here is going to continue to really take us through the rest of this week with the warm temperatures and still talking about some of that afternoon thunder. There is some potential drying that is looking to feed into next week, which would potentially allow for some warmer summer temperatures to build as we don't have those interruptions of showers and thunderstorms. That can allow for that environment to warm, but we'll have to continue to keep an eye on that potential as there still is some monsoon moisture that could bring some impacts across portions of the Cowboy State. But what we also have in place is that we are battling some wildfire smoke that is working through our upper atmosphere coming from the Pacific Northwest. Now, there's not much for surface impacts, but we are noting that it does create that hazier sunshine. So note that even on Thursday, there looks to be a pretty dense plume of some of that smoke working its way across much of the Cowboy State. So not going to see that bright blue sky. It's almost going to look a tinge a little yellow or dull, but we still look at that potential climbing into those 90s. So that warm summer-like environment in place. We also do keep that thunder threat around as well, but we're noting that when it comes down to any strong to severe storms, that looks to be holding closer to the edge of that Wyoming border to the east. So not looking at big widespread concerns, but at least some rumbles here. As we even roll through the forecast, we can see generally pretty bright skies, again, a little hazy, but then we fire up a few of those cells, widely scattered. Not a lot of organization here for our Thursday, so not expecting a washout forecast, but noting that we're in this typical pattern. We'll have to keep that mention of at least a few storms that could be around as we have these near seasonal temperatures in place. 95 into Worland, 88 into Cody, 85 into Jackson, 89 into Rock Springs, to 88 into Newcastle. So again, warm day, but this is what's typical for especially it being mid-July. We'll have that battle between the haze as well as a few widely scattered thunderstorms for our Thursday. There might be a little better uptick in the coverage when it comes down to some thunderstorms similar to our Wednesday is what could be experienced on Friday. Similar temperatures, similar coverage in that thunderstorm threat. What we'll see on Friday as well is that there are going to be some stronger wind gusts in place. We're bringing in some up to 20-mile-per-hour gusts. Not a blustery day, but there is that little uptick as here's that southwesterly flow that helps to feed into some of that moisture. And as we move from Saturday through Monday, there are some more variable winds, not strong ones, but that wind is what's going to gradually tap out of some of this moisture, which is going to allow for us to pull into a little bit of a quieter environment. Might see a slight pullback in those temperatures, but still expected to definitely feel like July, but there may have to be some eyes kept on how warm we will be in next week.